All right, evasive, evasive, be elusive. You are the wind, you are the wind. Serpentine, 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 serpentine. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fly, you fool, fly. I'll speed this one up, speed up, speed up. Well, hello there, human siffies, earthlies, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. If you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too, that was a pretty wild ride out of boot camp. I didn't show you the finish of that. If you want to check that out, go to the Instagram page. I'm dropping a lot of video snippets like that of late on the Instagram page. That was a direct pull from there. I want to talk to you today about a final circle I had recently on Vikendi. And this is interesting because it's something that sometimes I'll go back and I'll look at the video and I'll realize that I'm doing something that's a little bit different and I haven't talked about before. Oh, before I go through this, go to event, click on event, and then click on time limited, which is up the top. That'll take you to the time limited area. And then you want to go to the team up event, and click on North America and South America there, the NA and the SA. Scroll down to luscious number 11. And that's right, Hot Lips Bushka right there. Casting in Minsk, that photo. What a glorious bit of glass work and the big headset on. And then vote for me. One of the things that I do with these videos is I find snippets that make me realize there are things that are going on that I don't always talk about. And little tips and tricks that I just do automatically, which might help you win chicken dinners. And this is really a very solid one. See, let's have a bit of clickbait. Let's give a call to action here. Watch the end of the video to see what I'm talking about. No, I'll tell you now. Because I'm no good at this shit. Excuse the language. Oh, no, I should probably start again, but I won't. What I do is I push on a knock. Now, that's pretty standard procedure. Pushing on a knock when you're towards the end of a chicken dinner is a great way to turn a tough situation to your advantage. You're basically looking for that edge. And that's what you want to do. By the way, this all started here, where I ran into a guy and just knocked him A over T, and then it just all went kind of hell in a handbasket from here, and we just run around and do our best. But pushing on a knock is standard, but I'm not just pushing on a knock. What I'm doing is I'm paying attention to what the targets look like. And then when I push, I am pushing, and then I change targets to the guy that I just knocked. And the reason being that if you push and say there's 10 seconds, they get the knock up. That's enough time to get a revive off, just enough time to get a revive off. But what it isn't is enough time to get a revive off and have that guy then get a full heal off. Now, whether you're at 1 hit point or 100 hit points, your gun does the same damage. So the theory here is that you push on the knock and then you clear the target that has low hit points and you already know has low hit points, because facing 2 guns is no good at all, but facing 1 gun is a lot easier. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Now, before I get to that point, there's a lot of water to go under the bridge. So we dropped in here and immediately became hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce. What you're going to see me do is work the ridgeline all around here. Now, there's rocks, there's a car, there's a lot of opportunities to get things done. But really at the moment, the worst thing I can do is try and push for no good reason. There's a couple of people down there at the villa area, and there's a guy on my right, or there was a guy on my right. I've cleared him. There's someone on my left. You can see that there are people shooting at me from down in the villa area there that are not that squad that is in the actual main part of the building. And they will become, it will become clearer who they are and where they are. Because there was a guy who knocked over there and he didn't die immediately and crawled off down towards the fence line. And I believe that is the squad mate of the guys that are going to be running along that fence line. And going to be quite influential in the outcome of the game. One of the things I always preach is watching your back. I'm a big fan of always looking back behind you to see if there is someone coming in on the zone line. It's gatekeeping, it's stock stand, that it's pretty obvious, and it's something that's very, very important to do. Now, that guy went down that I'd knocked. I would suggest that his Gren, the guy that went down to the Gren was his partner. We've got someone running around at the back there. Tap out a headshot. Excellent stuff, good for me. And then he crawls away and he realizes that he can't go behind the tree. It's just going to leave him in the zone. And even though I can't shoot, we get him down eventually. Only 4 left, right? And that grand clearing was, I think, someone getting cleared inside the main part of Villa. Now, there's 2 guys left in a duo for sure and certain, but I believe that there may be a third squad going on here, but that squad is a solo in the duo area, in the Villa area. I'm still, though, very, very worried about the area behind me. This is something that you need to ingrain in your gameplay. It's like looking both ways before you cross the road. When you know where everyone else is, apart from 1 or 2 guys, you want to make sure. So there's two dudes down there for sure, because I heard 2 bits of gunfire. So I'm pretty certain I'd be incredibly unlucky. Yeah, oh, hello. Oh my God, he just missed. I'd be incredibly unlucky if he was in fact. Oh, there he is again. Headshot. That's DCP Solanke. He was firing at someone, right? So that means there is at least 1 down there. And if he was firing at 1, he died instantly. It's more than likely that the last 2 down there are a duo. I'm still not certain though. So I keep doing the same old boring stuff. Making sure that while everything's going on, I'm looking at the back of the map. Now, it might seem boring because nothing comes of it in this game, but this has got me wins that many times. We're going to be very unlucky here. We're going to hit a couple of nice shots. Nice headshot there, but he's got a level 3 helmet. Just missing coming in the doorway. And we're using a suppressor, so he's probably not 100% certain where that was. And then we just set the shot up. The next shot, we're looking for another headshot. Unfortunately, these guys are very, very well kitted out, well equipped. But did you see when they went in there? They were both wearing slightly different clobber. And that's important. And it's something like watching a kill feed. These are little bits of information that the game's going to give you. It's going to tell you, there we are, another headshot. But again, not enough to get the job done. The reason these guys probably move out isn't a bad one. I am more or less hull down. It's very hard to get a shot at my body at all. You can only ever see my head, and I'm able to move backwards and force behind this ridgeline. Whereas they can peek the sides, or they can waltz into that thing in the dead set center, and I can see everything. And they've got to look up at the mountain, which is very, very tough for them. So they move out of there and go down to the walls that are ringing around Villa. Now, as I said, I noted what they were wearing. And this is where that last push thing I was talking to you about is going to come into play. Because I see what the guy is wearing that I knocked, I'm able to push aggressively and figure out exactly which one of the 2 opponents has a very low hit point pool. And I clear him first. And that makes all the difference, because as soon as I touch him, basically, he falls down. And then I just swing back to the guy that I was shooting originally and put another shot into him, and he falls over as well. Now, these guys are now in an interesting position because one of them is pushed down low, but the other one is still just coming up on the right-hand side. I don't want to sit still. Don't want to stop moving. There he is. Not quite good enough. Was hoping for the big shot behind the tree line, but they're running the edges here. Now, the thing I can do is get grenades down there. You wouldn't think it, but I can get them very close. But because there's 2 of them, it's very hard for me to stop long enough to pinpoint them. Now, if I could just get a second, I could get the grenades perfectly situated. But I can't, and that's making life very difficult. Because if I stand still for long enough, yeah, they'll definitely headshot me. They'll definitely give me some big damage. The zone is coming in. I can just stay inside the zone on the ridge for 1 more circle. And then I'm going to have to get off the caboose and start having a crack. And they're not giving me any targets. They've been shot a couple of times in the noggin. And they are... Oh, well, there you go. There's our mate. Now, he's coming down from the right. That's where the gunfire was just from. And I am very much in the mindset here to push. I want to push. So he's going to get his mate up. There's the smokes. Hopefully that Gren does the job for me. But if it doesn't, then we're just going to have to jump over the edge. Now, that is a good Gren. They must have been to the right in that smoke. Bad luck for me. Here we go, jumping over. No one behind us. And the switch. Do you see the switch to the guy in the blue? The switch to the guy in the blue got me the game. Watch this again. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because this is I'm about to get smothered by 2 guns at once. Straight up. hit the guy in the blue, and as soon as I touched him, he fell down. So that's a little bit of a tip for the future for you boys and girls. If you get a knock, try and figure out what they're wearing and try and hit that knock first when you go over the wall or through the door or off the roof. It will absolutely give you a much better chance of getting the winner chicken dinner feeling deep down in your bones. And that's what it's all about. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.